So this week I got an order for a wallet that was falling apart of a customer and he would like a new one. So I thought might be a good opportunity, why not make a pattern out of it as well? And so of course the customer got a new wallet and I also got a new pattern out of it. And I'm really happy with the construction method for this one. I think there's a few neat tricks involved. So even if you're not interested in the pattern, I would recommend to stick around. Maybe you can also learn a thing or two. And as always, let's make that, shall we? For this build I'm using 4-ounce Butero for the outside and 3-ounce Pueblo for the inside. And to get started, I'll first thin out the edges of our pockets a little bit to make everything slimmer. But this step is also optional. I'll start by beveling and burnishing all the top sides of every pocket piece that we have. Then I mark the inner stitch line on 2 of our pockets so we can start stitching those together. Then we can start sewing these pieces together, and here we want their grain sides to be facing each other. And then we repeat basically the same process for the other 2 pockets, and the only thing different here is the orientation of the grain and flush sides. Now we get to the neat part. So basically we can already start gluing together all of our pieces. So this includes here the front pocket, then also our front, and then the pockets behind it. And then we will glue all of that on the bottom of the outer shell. And you probably think like, hey, we haven't stitched those pockets together yet, right? And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do about that. And now we work our way through the sandwich, starting from the front pocket and then through all the pockets until we end up on the back side with the outer shell.
but it's basically impossible to glue all of these pieces together perfectly. So you see that we have some rough edges, and this is also why I included some trim allowance in the pattern. So we can just take a ruler, we want to make sure our knife is really sharp, and we can take off around 1 or 2 millimeters of all the edges, and then also refinish the small circles on the bottom. And now that already looks hell of a lot better. And while we've already got those clean edges and they're still put together quite nicely, I already do the beveling and burnishing part now, although I would usually do it after stitching. But in this case I go over it with some sandpaper, I think this was 600 grit, work my way upwards a little bit and finish those edges first. And then I'll show you how we do the stitching. And now for this build, all of our stitch lines line up perfectly. So what we can just do is I'm gonna mark the stitch line on top, and then we just punch through all of the layers to get all of our stitching holes on every pocket. And after we've finished all of our stitching holes, we can start fanning out our pockets so we see the individual rows that we have to stitch. And there should be 3 of them. So 1 in the back, 1 in the front, and 1 for the middle pocket. And the other ones are also quite easy to stitch, so I'm gonna do that off screen. But I'll show you how I stitch the middle row, because I think I found some good tricks here. First put in the left needle and then push it down inside the pocket, so the end on the other side moves up again, so I can more easily pick it out from the other side. Then I pull through that needle, and then similarly do the same with the other needle, where I put it in first, and once I'm past a certain point, I can push it down on one side, so it pops out the other side, pull it through, pull our stitch tight, and then we can rinse and repeat that until we finish. So the good thing about these techniques is that we have a good technique to align all of our pockets, so we have some nice and clean edges at the end, but it makes stitching a little bit trickier. But for me personally, I think this is a very reasonable trade-off, but let me know what you think in the comments. And now we're moving towards the finish line. So I'm just gonna use my bone folder to open up our pockets a little bit. And then the only part missing is the other side of our button. And we also want to bevel and burnish the closure, or all around the closure. And there you go, we're already finished with our new wallet. So as always, let me know what you think. And if you did like the video, I would also be happy for any likes and comments, and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And with that, see you next time.